Hello and welcome back to Becky's Allotment, and we're going to start in the greenhouse today, and let's have a look what we've got in here. So I killed most of my pepper plants, but this one seems to be doing fantastic. We've got, I think this is the basket of fire, so we've got some peppers coming on that. Then in the back there are my long sweet peppers. They seem to be eaten by something. I don't know what sort of tomato that is, but it's really small. Then over here we've got some more tomatoes. Can't remember what type they are, but if you watched my videos earlier in the year, we were looking at growing something different. So this is my unusual seed challenge. I've grown these just behind the tomatoes, and they are wonderberries. So they're in the corner there, and let's see if you can see them. I can't reach. There's some of the berries. So I'll show you what those are like when they're edible. So that's the peppers and tomatoes. There's another pepper behind here. I think that's a sweet pepper, a mini sweet pepper. So that's what they look like. Then over here we've got some winter stuff that I planted. So I've got some turnips, spinach. These I've potted on, and they are Savoy cabbages. And we've got some red cabbages and some purple sprouting broccoli. And those were my spare leeks. I'm going to try putting them out, see if they grow. You never know. We shall see. And over here we've got the aubergines. They're flowering. I've got one aubergine, which I'll show you now. The cucumbers aren't doing too well, but they're still growing and flowering, even though half the vines look dead, which is weird. Then over here I dug up the Inca berry last year, but obviously it dropped a few, and I've got 2 plants now, so they can stay in there. Then I have to go out the greenhouse to film this. That's my first aubergine ever. It's awesome. I can't wait to eat that. I'm gonna give it a couple more days, so I've already got my dinners planned. Then here is my banana plants. They're not looking too happy here. They were much happier at home, but we'll see how they do. Then my moose seeds, trial seeds. I didn't have time to do all the seeds they sent me this year, but I did manage to do these rhubarb and that rosemary, and they're doing really well. Really nice rosemary there, and another rhubarb. Then there's my not Cape gooseberry, I just showed you them. What is it called? Chilean guava. So don't seem to have any fruit on that at the moment, but maybe I will later. And then this is one of my sunflowers from the sunflower challenge, which I forgot about. I think that's like a dwarf one or something. I don't know. It's not doing very well. Then over here in my first bed we've got a a couple of the trailing tomatoes because I ran out of baskets. Some strawberries, and this is the celeriac, which I didn't think had grown, and then I found in a pot, so I planted them in here. They seem to be doing okay. In this one, we've got my spray corn plants, sweet corn, which I forgot about in a pot, so they're not doing particularly well, but I get a few corn off them. And I planted this bed full of parsnips, but I only got a couple, but that'll do. These are all the runner beans, the French beans. The Bolotti beans are over there with the sweet corn, and behind this we've got the crazy amount of calendula, a random borage plant which I've left because it attracts the bees and they seem to love it. Then we've got the runner beans behind. These are the Benchmaster, and they're growing really well. There we've got the Cobra French beans. There's a decent amount on those. And hundreds of these calendula, which seems to help the pollination, so I'm not too bothered. Here we've got the yellow courgette that someone gave me. And this year I did manage to grow courgettes. And these weren't the ones that I planted. These are the ones my friend at the allotment gave me because I failed so badly last year. And it's doing really well. I'll show you mine in a minute. Then we've got the salad bed. This is my bolt resistant spinach. It's lovely. A couple of tomatoes which were spare. Then I've got a little gem lettuce. A couple of little gems. That was a red oak leaf, but it's gone to seed. They seem to turn red after a while. Some chard, beetroot in there. So I've got rows of onions, and I'm not going to put lettuce in here again. And then we've got the shallots in this bed. They're massive, golden gourmet I think. So they're coming along nicely there. Then over here we've got, what are these? The onions. So then I've planted some lettuce, beetroot and radish and stuff in here, but I only did that yesterday, so there's not many. My leeks, which I planted a while ago, my, oh, what are they called? The onions that split, oh, I can't remember. Then I've got my other onions. They seem to be doing alright in this raised bed. They're a nice size. Not show onions, but I just want eaten onions. And we've got a spare tomato, which I've been putting in the corner of raised beds. All the trailing tomatoes that were spare. Let's go and have a look. I've got some strawberries in there, which were runners. Got all the beans. I'll show you the Bolotti beans. So over here we've got the Bolotti beans. There's 2 teepees here. They've got flowers on at the moment, but no beans yet. Or they're just starting, as you can see. So we have got a couple of beans. I swear something just bit me then. Didn't like me putting my hand in. So the beans are coming. Awesome. We've got some dreaded black fly on these beans. I did spray them with water, washing up liquid and water, so we'll see how they do. And I've got my courgette plant. Look at it. I think I left her in a pot too long. And there's my other one. Tiny. And I did have another one over here. And she's growing some courgettes. So they're the antenna ones that I planted. My space sweet corn, it was in a pot way too long, and it's like 20 centimeters tall. So don't leave them in a pot too long. There's the other courgette that my friend gave me, which is doing fantastic. I'll have to pick a couple of those. And I've planted out some of my cabbages to see how they'll do. So got the collars on those and some Savoy cabbages, as you can see. And I've got some leeks here. They've already shown a bit of rust. We'll see how they do. These are my last potatoes in a bucket. They were planted quite late. And I've tried putting some of my spare leeks out, so they need the water by the looks of it, but we'll see how they do. Some more cabbages. Looks like something's been digging in there, probably a cat. And some spare tomatoes. My sweet corn is doing okay. This is the main stuff that I've been doing, and it's not ready yet. So we've got my Crimson Crush tomatoes, and they look so ill. They've got a few tomatoes on, but they're just not growing. I don't know what I've done to these tomatoes, but they look like they're dying. But then the bottom bits are still green, as you can see there. So I don't know, but I'll get a couple of tomatoes off these outdoor ones, but I don't think they're going to do very well. The asparagus isn't doing that great, but I don't know whether it's because it was planted in the greenhouse and it was like literally growing mental when it was winter. So we'll see what happens, whether they come back. And I've got that little tomato, which is a volunteer, and don't know what it is. We shall see. Another Crimson Crush. So I've got a couple of red tomatoes. We'll see what happens with them. Shouldn't be too long. I've got my tomatoes, which look dead the last time you've seen them, or in my previous videos. And the asparagus is in there as well, but it's very small. So apparently the tomatoes keep away the asparagus beetle, and although we had some earlier in the year, I haven't seen any more, and no bugs on them, so that's good. I got mint in there. I've been splitting the chives, so they're in that pot. And the embarrassment now of my sunflower challenge. Now these are the ones in a pot. Let me show you the pot. So they're in a pot, in a barrel, because I couldn't keep them watered enough. And they are as tall as me, so about well, just a bit smaller than me actually, so these are about 5 foot. And it looks like we're going to have multiple heads on these. I can't remember what they're called. Oh, the Mongolian giant. So these are the ones the mice planted in my polytunnel. I think the mouses, or the mice planting the sunflowers, are winning. We got a 6 foot tall sunflower, which needs to go outside now. And I moved outside the really tall ones, so the mice have beaten me. So embarrassing. And these shorter ones are my display ones, and they are a mixture. I think they're going to be red ones. They got no flowers on yet, so they might get taller. You never know. And the best of the mice ones, it snapped. It's still going. This is doing a twirl up. Awesome. And then it's got a little leaf there. I wonder if that'll be a flower. Very cool. So let's have a look at here. This is the old arch, which has had an undercoat of paint and some glue on it, but need to glue a bit more, and then we can put that up. The rhubarb and elderberries. Whoop. Tripping over. So I picked some of these elderberries yesterday. I'm waiting for the rest of them to turn now, so I can make some syrup with that. This is the peach tree, the Allotment Pride, that's the outdoor one. And for some reason, this seems to be bare, apart from a few. It's just growing weird. Or it might be because I had to trim back the elderberry tree. But it's looking really healthy. Now it's grown new shoots above the graft, so that's good. I think that one's below, so I'll have to cut them off. But it seems to be doing really well. No complaints here. Some rhubarb, more rhubarb. Then we've got the grapevine that I forgot about, and this has got some grapes on. I can't remember which ones they are. Lots of lovely grapes on here. The arch was here, see, so it was supposed to grow up there, but that broke, so I'll move that in the winter to the other grapevine. Then we've got the blue moon roses. Lots of lovely roses on there. It's huge. I did try and grow some morning glory here, but not doing that great. And we've got lupins, so hopefully they'll spread themselves. I think I had a few over there last year. They've come out a bit. This is really weedy because I haven't done anything. There's my can. Can't remember what it's called. And this is the artichoke, globe artichoke that I planted from seed last year. It didn't do very well because it was under the shade of the other elderberry that was planted by there. But this year it's really come back, so you can have an artichoke. If I had more I'd eat one, but I want to see the flower. And we got some lavender and other stuff, but yeah, this elderberry is, or elderflower bush is taking over, so that's got to go down onto plot 2. There's the berries. Then I can quickly show you in the net tunnel. That's where I trimmed it back. See if I can get through. Being attacked by flies. see if I can get through here. Oh, I'm in. So here we have the net tunnel. We've eaten one cabbage. There's the other one. And that is some red kale, curly kale, poppy for some reason. I don't know what that is. I think it's kale. And at the back here, we've got the sprouts. These are the crispest ones, and tiny sprouts are starting to form on those. So we've also got, I was told, someone told me that this was kale, Chinese kale, but it looks like sprouts. So I'll have to see what it is. But yeah, I'm really pleased in here. And I got so much kale. Been donating it to the chickens at the corner. I cannot eat it fast enough. There's so much, but it is lovely. Now we are getting a bit of white fly, so I'm going to spray these with some soapy water. Right, outside we've got the ochre. That's the cream and the red ochre. And just made a compost pile there. I'm running out of room. Borage just going mental. Then we've got the bleeding hearts on this side. So there's my bleeding heart plants. And here we have the other unusual seed challenge that I did, which was huckleberries. So apparently these like a bit of shade, so it's shaded here for the bleeding hearts, so we've got some. I'm not sure if those are annuals or if they come back every year, but we shall see. Look at all these bees over this borage. I just left it there because they seem to like it. I found one up my top the other day. It scared the crap out of me because I was getting something out of the shed and it flew in. And there's my peach tree that's usually in the greenhouse polytunnel, but I moved it out when COVID hit because they kept saying they didn't know if we were going to shut it or not, the allotment. So I moved it outside. It still had flowers on, so flowers were frosted off, and no peaches this year, so I'm going to have a season outside. I shall put it back in when it starts to get cold. Right in the polytunnel. I've dug up all my potatoes. I'll show you where in a minute. But I'll show you the. Sorry, this is where I sit. This is the polytunnel. So we've got our sun gold cherry tomatoes. These are amazing. Definitely grow them. Then we've got, I can't remember whether this is a Crimson Crush or a Gigantimal. There's the tomatoes there. Then I also did a cooking plum tomato, and they seem to be growing well. Can't remember the name of it, but the tomatoes look lovely, so they'll make a nice paste or whatever. Then we've got the 3 Shirleys at the back here. That's producing lots of lovely red tomatoes there, so I'll be picking those. Over here we've got the black crim, which just seems to be, every time a tomato ripens, it's being eaten. So I don't know. Then we've got a gigantamo. There's one tomato on there. And over here, this has been the most prolific this year. And these are the indigo rose. So that's what they look like. Are any of them ripe? See, they seem to stay green on the bottom, like you can see there. But when they're ripe, this turns like a really dark red. So they're not ready yet. See if there's any on this one. No. So they've been brilliant. My sweet minions. There. Okay, I haven't had one yet. They've been really slow. And I think this is either a sweet minions or another sun gold. I think it's a sun gold. But we'll see. So yeah, that's plot 1. It's looking really nice and healthy, green. I did do a bit of weeding, so it's looking nice. This is the pumpkin, and I don't know if it's the crown prince or the rocket that I planted there, so we'll see when the pumpkins start to form. And I'll show you the apple tree. Still got some couch grass in there. I've been digging it out. And there's the apple tree. That's the Red Love era apples. I've dropped a couple again. But that's doing well. All this was potatoes, and at the front here was chives. So I've dug up the chives for now while I'm still digging up the couch grass. And I'm going to plant some lettuce in here, and then the winter veg. These are the butternut squash, which aren't doing particularly well, but I might get something, I might get nothing. Never know unless you try. There's the cherry tree, which goes on for miles. Now let's go and have a look at plot 2 quickly.